Hey guys, Rob here from Rob's Workshop, as well as the Ibanez Lefty Club. I figured I would finally get around to doing a review video of my left-handed Kiesel Vader VM7 7-string multi-scale. I got this delivered to me I think right around, yeah, actually it was May because it was like a week before my birthday, so it was pretty awesome. So I've given it a few months now play to kind of, really get the feel for this instrument and kind of see what I think of it. I've been playing Ibanez's now for, God, probably 15 or 20 years at this point. Every guitar that I've ever owned, whether it's Jackson's or Ibanez's or whatever, they've all been, the standard super strats. So, I've been following the Kiesels for quite some time. Actually, I even owned a Carvin many, many years ago, probably 8 or 9 years ago, and I think it was like a DC 127, I think it was, and I love that guitar. I bought it used, I think in a trade or something like that. And I remember it having an ebony neck, had a hardtail ebony neck, and it was actually a really, really fun guitar. I ended up selling it. It was, the color, it was like a weird yellow, transparent yellowish amber, so I wasn't really digging the color too much, but anyways, I'd sold it. But it was a really good guitar, so it really kind of gave me that introductory into the Carvin Kiesel world. I know that they've obviously been around for many, 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 many years, and Jeff had really taken the company to a whole new level, and I've just been following the website and all the models for probably the last like year and a half or 2 years, and just really, really, really wanted to try one out. Being a huge Ibanez fan, obviously I run the Ibanez Lefty Club. I know left-handed Ibanez like the back of my hand. I've been dealing with them for, like I said, almost probably 20 years now. I'm so used to Ibanez's. I tried so many different guitars. I just settled on those. Not even settled. I love them so much. Probably more so in the necks, and they're just comfortable guitars. But Ibanez will. Ibanez has made 7 strings for us before, but let's be honest, they're very few and far between. They're like hen's teeth to come across, and they're all 25.5-inch scale, which is something that kind of turned me off because I have had a few 7 strings before, but I don't know, something about that scale, the low B string, when the multi-scales started hitting the scene, and I was checking them out, and they just were they fascinated me really. So I always wanted to try one, and I think I've had two 7 strings before this. Yes, 2 7 strings before this. A Schecter, and what was my other one? I think LTD, ESP LTD. And I also had 2 8 strings as well, and no, can't wrap my head around the 8 strings. So 7 strings is where I settled. The next one, the 8 strings are just ginormous. I couldn't even. I had an Agile, and I think it was like a 28.325 or something retarded like that scale, and hands will hurt like for days after playing that for me. I have stupid little stumpy hands, so it just wasn't my thing. So this bad boy, this Kiesel, is 25.5 to 27, so it's a really comfortable range. I believe the straight fret is on the 9th, so the fan is not super extreme. The moment I picked it up, loved it, absolutely. It felt great. So just kind of go over some of the specs here before I jump into that. It's a full-blown mahogany. Just sorry for the strap noises here. I took off the strap. I have a Dimarzio strap, lock strap on here. Mahogany wings, mahogany on the neck with maple stripes. It's 5-piece. With Kiesels you can change it up. I call them semi-customs because obviously it's their model. You just change all the different specs on them. It's not like you draw a drawing, you say build this. This is it's their model, but you're able to do a lot of different tweakings to it, a lot of different add-ons. Some more cosmetic, some more functional. So I went more for the functional route. Obviously, you do have a little bit of cosmetic to it, but For the most part, most of my choices were purely non-aesthetic, besides the top. So it's, oh, and I'm sorry, and the fretboard as well. I love maple, you know, and it's really a good idea to probably get maple next now because the sights rules. I mean, if I would never be able to sell this thing outside of the United States if it had a rosewood neck. Ebony is fine too, so you know if you want to choose ebony, that's great as well. But yeah, avoid rosewood at all costs. But that's a whole other story, right? So yeah, anyways, it's mahogany and maple. I love mahogany, love maple. Probably my two favorite woods in the world. And ebony would probably be my third favorite, as well as the spalted maple top. This is a standard spalted maple top, in case anybody's wondering. Yeah, that is standard. Okay, that is probably at least a 4A top. Okay, at least, maybe even 5A, but definitely 4A. Probably borderline, depending on who you ask. The top is really nice and thick. It's not a thin veneer like most of these companies put on now. It's real wood. I mean, they're all real wood, but it's not paper. Basically, is basically what you get on a lot of new models. And you know, they didn't cheap out. They filled. You know, if they need to fill in stuff, they fill in stuff, so it's nice and smooth. It doesn't look unfinished. I mean, unless you like that look, but I don't. Not particularly. But you know, this is something that I've been wanting for a while. Like I said, I got it in May, and I've been playing it for a while. So the first thing, you know, that I looked over was the quality, just the build quality. You know, looking at every little detail. You know, I follow everybody. Everybody knows Arnold with the unbiased gear reviews, and I feel the same exact way. You know, I'm going to take a microscope to something, especially the cost. Right, this isn't a $500 Indonesian. You know, when you pay something in the range of this, you expect perfection, or as close to perfection as you could possibly get. You know, I'm not going to I shouldn't see those flaws that you would see on sub-$1,000 guitars, right? This guitar, and I'll tell you right off the bat, it cost me just under $2,500, okay? That's an expensive guitar, right? Most people are not going to spend that kind of money on a guitar, especially a guitar that's sight unseen, right? I've never played one of these before. You know, I have to rely on the reviews, I have to rely on the forums, pictures, and whatnot, to really, you know, make that determination and take that leap of faith. And I can certainly tell you, straight off, not disappointed at all. The guitar, for the most part, completely flawless in its construction. I can certainly maybe call out just a couple of tiny, well, actually maybe just one small thing. This has a tongue-oiled back of the neck, right? Then you have the gloss finish. So you have the little the line here, obviously the transition point, where they mask the gloss on the maple fretboard. There was a little bit of tape residue left over, tiny bit. Run my thumb nail over it, and it went away. That's really it. So that's really not even a flaw, really. Everything else, like I said, immaculate, absolutely immaculate. You know, no rough frets. I think the only, no rough frets. I was about to call something out, but I'm not gonna, because it's more of a personal preference. But yeah, absolutely flawless guitar. You know, looking over the wood, looking over every little area. I mean, even up inside here. I mean, I tried to find anything, you know, that I could call out, and nothing. Even the routes, the pickup routes are flawless. You know, you definitely are gonna expect flawlessness from a company like, yeah, everything is CNC'd on this guitar, so you know everything's perfect. I cannot find any real flaws in this guitar at all. So just kind of go back to the specs real quick here. You know, you obviously humbucker, 7-string. What I do is I had them move the volume to the tone and delete the tone. As a left-handed guitar, it's not returnable anyways, so I can add option 50 stuff to this through and through. It really wouldn't matter. And if anybody's wondering, I think the option 50 means anything added on that would prevent a return. You know, something out of the, you know, way out of spec or something like that. but that was pretty much one of the only ones that I did. But so yeah, so we got the regular spalted maple top. Again, it's absolutely fucking stunning. I blew me away when I saw this in one of Jeff's videos. But seeing it in person is just wow. The flame maple neck is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous flame to it. And I kind of love. At first, I was like kind of iffy on the fact that like the grain goes up and down, but obviously the frets don't, so it kind of gives this weird contrast. But I've fallen in love with it. As you can see, like the grains kind of going opposite diagonal to it, even though they're really straight up and down, but it gives this cool illusion. Obviously, you can't change the grain patterns, so obviously it's an unavoidable thing. But so yeah, we got I do a stainless steel frets. Always go stainless steel. I mean, it is, like I said, I picked options on this guitar that were worthy, were things that weren't just plain cosmetic stuff. Other than the flame board and the top, everything else on here, I had a thought to it, right? So stainless steel frets, always got to go stainless steel. Moving of the volume knob to the tone position so that it's out of the way. So when you're really hitting stuff, you don't hit it. The one thing that I did forget to do was I forgot to have them do a 3-way instead of a 5-way. I may in the future change it. It's not a big deal. I can easily change electronics out on it. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's pretty standard. Those are the only like really major things that I did to it. Even if, I mean, I was kind of wishy-washy over the toggle too, but I also thought too, what if I don't like this guitar? I want to be able to sell it, so I don't want to do crazy different changes to it that would cause other people to not want to do it. So I felt like the add-ons and the changes that I did, a lot of people would also gravitate towards. Obviously the stainless steel, moving of the volume knob, the Kiesel lithium pickups. I knew going in I was going to be 50-50. I know Arnold doesn't like them. We got to give him a shot, but I knew this going in that there was a possibility that I was not going to like these pickups. And unfortunately, I do fall into that camp. They're not awful pickups, so don't get your panties in a bunch here. They're good pickups, far better pickups than you're ever going to get standard no names out of whatever manufacturer, Ibanez or whatever. They're definitely good pickups, but they don't take it to that next level, right? I've been a Dimarzio player for probably for 20-25 years since I've been playing guitar. I remember putting Dimarzios in my first ever guitar. So knowing what a higher end pickup, and even Dimarzios to me really aren't really higher end, but they're definitely better pickups than stock. These, yeah, I think Arnold gives a better review on these than I ever would, but I 100% agree with him, and I've talked to him on the forums and stuff like this, and I decided to contact instrumental pickups. I am going to, when I have the funds, a little tight on money right now, but when I have the funds, he is going to, Ethan over at Instrumental is going to rewind these pickups. Now I could get different pickups for it, but he doesn't do cream bobbins, and I think the cream with the top, it makes the guitar. It just makes the look of that guitar. If I change these to black or white, not gonna do it. Everything blends perfectly. I mean, I couldn't have matched things better. I love the black with the cream, just perfect. Even the little touches like the black knob with the cream tip, love it. It's just everything goes perfectly. So he is going to, when I finally do it, whether maybe a couple months from now or whatnot, it's really very reasonable. I think the cost for rewind from both of these pickups is only like 140 or something like that. And if you go to order a set of Dimarzios, it's going to cost you probably over $200 or whatever pickup. And obviously these are slanted pickups, so your choices are limited. Obviously he can do them slanted. Other companies can do them slanted too. BKPs, even heard Duncan's can do slanted and stuff like that for custom order. But that's going to be big money. So I'm going to trust an Instrumental for nothing. Literally no one's ever said anything bad about them. So I'm going to try the rewinds on these, and really, really look forward to doing that. But again, they're not bad pickups. They don't take it to that next level. They don't have that crispy, high output clarity that you would get with a really, really good high output pickup. The clean sound, amazing on these, especially in the middle position when you both got them going. Beautiful, beautiful cleans, really, really crispy cleans. Love it. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens when I get the new ones. But yeah, I don't want to say that they don't disappoint. I just want something on the next level. So yeah, so that's my review of the pickups. Like I said, the guitar itself is flawless. Sounds great. Actually, one thing: don't order elixirs with this. No. Elixirs outside of acoustics I personally don't believe elixirs belong on electric guitars. You could flame me for that, whatever. I don't care. I know when I got the guitar, I could not keep it in tune. Stretched them, played them for like a month with the elixirs, could not keep them in tune. As soon as I put on Ernie Balls, my trusty go-to I've been using forever, perfect. Barely go. I can wail on this thing and might go out just a few cents and just a little tweak right back. Elixirs, man, I could put this guitar down and next day the thing would be out half a step. So nope. I think a lot and elixirs will wear. The coatings cause wear, not on the guitar, but the coating rubs off on each fret where it hits each frets, and so what happens is it causes buzzing and stuff like that. The coating, no. So don't get that. Don't get those. I'm still experimenting with string gauges because it's fan fret. Not really used to it. I think I have 910 hybrids for the first 6, and then a low 52 or 54. You do have to be careful that the nut obviously can only accept so much. Let's see if I can kind of get in there. I'm using the front camera on my phone, so I apologize again, but might be able to go up another gauge or two, but after that you end up having to kind of file it out, right? So yeah, so let me call out some things that I feel that if I were to change this guitar, some of the things that I feel would improve it. Again, it's not taken away from the guitar. It's just that obviously it's $2,500, and some things I wish that they could have had on here. So the first thing is the thin neck profile, right? So if you look at the thin neck profile, this end cap nut, I'm not quite sure what you want to call it, like a locking end cap. I'm not sure the term for it, but it's all standard on these, whether right-handed or left-handed. This part goes on every Vader, right? So it doesn't matter if you have thin neck, thick neck, doesn't matter. What happens on the thin neck, because this is radius, let me get back over here, this is the radius for, I think, their standard, I'm going to say. So it's kind of cool to see how the thin neck stacks up to the standard, but unfortunately it causes a little lip. I don't know if you guys can see it, but now there's like a little lip right there. Basically, that's the removal of wood from where it would be standard to thin. Again, it's not a problem at all, so don't ever consider that a problem. But a little thought I would have liked to have seen, maybe past the nut, maybe like a gradual incline back up to level on that. Again, little touches. We could easily be done on a CNC, no problem. But again, it's nothing to call out on the guitar because it's not a problem with the guitar. It's just something that I think would have benefited just the feel and look of the guitar. Other things too, I would have liked to have seen recessed screw holes on the switch, as well as maybe even a recessed knob placement. It's little touches like that I see on other guitars in this price range that I would like to see on this guitar. Again, not a problem. Just I like to get it, maybe bring it to the next level, right? Even if there are options, it would be kind of interesting. Now the biggest thing about this guitar that annoys me. Now, yeah, something does annoy me about this guitar. It's surprising, even though I'm giving it huge accolades, is this. Where the switch goes. Where the jack goes. I realize that there's not a lot of real estate on this guitar to put a jack, but I think that it could have been done a little bit better. I would like to have seen maybe like an angled in, kind of like an Ibanez gem, for example, which I had one. In fact, I sold that to get this. You know, maybe just something that kind of came in at an angle, you know, because the problem here is that if you have a standard plug like this and you go to hold it, if you don't hold it like this on your knee, if you're more of a player that kind of like plays up high like this, you can see this is going to dig into your leg. Now, the other thing about this jack, I actually tightened it the other day, but it's already starting to get loose again. This jack gets loose like every fucking day. And after about a week, it's like, I have to go in and tighten it and tighten it and tighten it every single time. So that's probably the only thing on this guitar that annoys the shit out of me. So again, there's an easy solution to that. The looseness anyway is not actually the position of it. Obviously, there's nothing I can do about that, but the looseness, I'll probably put in one of those serrated washers to kind of hope that it will hold it tighter. You even go inside and do it as well so that it stays steady. But yeah, this thing, fucking annoying as shit where this plug is. I can live with it though. It's not that big a deal. But again, maybe future iterations of this model, Kiesel, please put an angled input jack there. It would just make so much better sense doing it that way, because I mean you can just like right out, like it's stopping you at all. And I don't know, maybe Ibanez has a patent on the angle jack. I don't think it does, because I've seen it on other guitars, but yeah, that's the only thing on this guitar that annoys the fucking shit out of me. Everything else is just perfect. I mean, the fret access on these guitars are... I actually find myself going up and go, oops, I went right past it because there's so much access. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, I can literally go all the way up here. It would be really cool, you know, if they angled the pickup, maybe bring it in just a little bit and give you a couple extra frets. That'd be wicked cool too, and it would be totally doable because the access is just ridiculous. I mean, I've never had a neck through like this that just had so much access. And I had choices too. I was debating this, the Aries, I think the DC7X. I think there was a couple of different multi-scale models, but I went with this one because I went, you know what? I played guitar for 20 years, and every single one of them is a super strat. Let's try something outside the box. Let's try something interesting. Let's try something different, and love it. Another great thing about this guitar is it is super lightweight. It is mahogany through and through, not chambered, none of that, and it probably only weighs 6 pounds maybe. I haven't weighed it, but my guess is roughly around 6 pounds, six and a half probably, which is nothing. My RGs, some of my RGs that I've had, God, they weigh like 8-9 pounds easy. It's like when I go between this and my RG, it's like, oh my God, my back, right? But if you have a bad back like myself, I really do have a bad back, this is the thing to get right here, man. This is the shit. I could stand all day with this thing. I really could. But yeah, so that's my review. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on here. Oh yeah, the other thing too, I have, I've been using Dimarzio strap locks since I discovered them 20 years ago. The shape of the guitar and the strap lock doesn't seem to work as well. I feel like the strap locks are made more for like the RGs and stuff like that. I think this is a smaller body. I haven't measured it, but it just seems smaller, and I think I might try getting these smaller. I think this is this longer standard one, but I think this one has like half the length of this. Just kind of help bring it up a little bit, because I find myself really, going in on this guitar because it wants you to. It really just wants you to really play, and it's just such a ball to play. Yeah. I think, another thing too that I might be able to call out, You know, at $2,500, you know, I'm going to compare this guitar to other things like J Customs, right? So J Customs are like the top of the line Ibanez's, and they come with bald fret ends. You know, when you have a CNC machine, I think it would be very, very easy for them to do it where you can ball the fret ends and also hide the tangs. So you can see the tangs here. So hidden tangs with ball end. Even if it was an option, $100 option or whatever, I think it would be a fantastic thing to be able to do on these guitars. It just brings that to the next level. Again, it's nothing that performance-wise is going to make it better. It's just, it is a little cosmetic, but I think it would feel a little bit better too. I mean, obviously there's no rough fret ends here, but you can still, know that there's frets there. But with the ball ends, it's like glass, right? And then of course you get the hidden tangs, but you know, that'd be an interesting option. Other thing too, when I first played this guitar, I'm used to it by now, but I've noticed like going up here, this is the nut. They used to have just a 0 fret here because there was wearing issues on it, so they changed it to just a nut. I've noticed that the end right here, when I first got it was a little sharp, but I think as I played it, I think it's kind of smoothed over a little bit. So I think if they, from the factory, if they just smoothed over these ends just a little bit, it wouldn't have been so rough. But I kind of like it because it kind of tells me, oh, stop, because otherwise you'd be like, oh, look, no more neck left. But you kind of get used to the headless thing. But yeah, I absolutely adore this guitar. So, you know, when I get the instrumental pickup, I'll give you guys a review of that as well. But again, I think Arnold has already done a fantastic review of that in a Vader. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about jumping on board, I would do it absolutely in a heartbeat. Yeah, you don't have to spend $2,500. I mean, Kiesel's one of those things where I think the base model of this, I'm probably gonna get this wrong, like $16.99 or something like that, $15.99, $16.99. You know, just a solid color, you know, plain Jane kind of thing. Which between this and that, there's not going to be much of a difference. You're going to have some difference just in the feel, probably because like at the tongue roll neck, the thin profile, but it's still going to play and sound pretty much identical whether you spend $1,600 or $2,600 or $3,600. It's just going to look cooler and cooler as you go on. So you know, that's just another thought too. Is like, well, if I'm going to resell it, if I spend $3,500 or $4,500 on one of these, would I get my money back or close to my money back? I don't expect to get it fully back, obviously, a used guitar to a new guitar, but you don't want to spend $3,000 on a guitar and only be able to sell it for $1,000 because the options that are on it are all cosmetic and it's not what somebody wants. Sort of like building a hot rod, right? You can go spend $200,000 building a sick hot rod, but that hot rod's built for you and your tastes. When you go to sell it, that might not be somebody else's taste, so you can only get $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 out of it. Kind of the same idea here, right? So if you do order this, my advice to you is pick options that give you better performance, like the thinner neck, like the tongue-oiled neck, the stainless steel frets. Pick those that matter. And in the end, you know, if you get a freaking 7A top with crazy colors and you spent $2,000 just on the paint job in the top, I mean, that's cool, but again, it's 100% cosmetic. You know, if you want to drop that kind of cash, go for it, man. That's on you. But personally, I think the best advice is to pick the options that matter the most. That's going to, in the long run, be worth it to you, right? So that's my review. If you have any questions, let me know about this guitar. Again, if I say check out their website and go to town, man. Order one of these things if you can. It's definitely gonna blow any of those, you know, sub $1,000, $1,000, $1,500 guitars out of the water. Especially if you compare it to like Indonesian Ibanez's and stuff like that, which just have so much quality issues. Even other manufacturers at that $1,000 mark, $1,500 mark, they just miss for the most part. Again, some of those other guitars are fantastic as well, but definitely check these guys out, man. It's pretty cool, and you can definitely, you know, change it up to make it your flavor, and I think that's really cool. All right, guys, take care.